Passage of House Bill 2073. Representative Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to bring House Bill 2073 to the floor today for consideration because I think it represents an opportunity for us to take a significant step toward addressing one of the fundamental flaws in our revenue structure and one of the obstacles to doing a better job of delivering the services and programs that Oregonians need in an efficient and effective manner. When I ran for the legislature, I did so out of a sense of responsibility to those who came before me, to those who made the investments that allowed me a good public education, a strong community, and a good quality of life. I also did so selfishly in an effort to try to help make Oregon and continue to be a great place for myself, for my family, and for the child that my wife and I are expecting to arrive in September. So I've tried to organize my work around that interest in the long run to make sure that future generations are considered and represented. That's why I'm very proud of the work that we did in 2007 to establish the state's first general purpose rainy day fund. And I would be surprised if anyone in this chamber now doubts the importance of that policy and those funds. They are already proving critical as we seek to deal with the economic challenges that are in front of us. I think they are key to our ability to cope and our ability to rebound and find our way out of the current economic challenges. But as good as that policy is, and as important as those dollars are, the General Purpose Rainy Day Fund lacks something very significant. It has a big failing. There is no ongoing funding mechanism for the General Purpose Rainy Day Fund. And as soon as we spend those $300 million plus that are there, I suspect many of those may be spent in the upcoming biennium, they're gone. There is no method of replenishing that fund, no ongoing deposits to that savings account. That's why House Bill 2073 is important and why I'm excited about its potential passage. I'm not here to rehash the debates this body had on the bills that were before us in the last couple of weeks about the changes to our income tax policy. People expressed strong views on those policies, and I respect those views. But what I am here to do is to present a policy that I think is consistent with our values and represents a chance for us to come together by directing some of the money raised by those policies into the Rainy Day Fund. You'll recall in that bill that the rate on corporations that make more than $10 million in profit goes from 6.6% to 7.6%. House Bill 2073 directs the revenue generated from that change to go into the Rainy Day Fund. And in the 2013-2015 biennium, when that would take place, the current estimate is that that's $69 million. This is the same Rainy Day Fund we have now with all the objective triggers based on employment and revenue data that will be there when we are in times like we are now. It makes sense that we'd put these dollars in the Rainy Day Fund because they are among the most unpredictable in our revenue stream. In fact, when you compare the variability of the personal income tax revenue with the corporate income tax revenue, it's no contest. The corporate revenue is more than 5 times as volatile. The benefits that this bill and this policy bring are tangible. By directing deposits into the Rainy Day Fund, we can smooth some of the peaks and valleys that are so characteristic of the roller coaster that we ride when it comes to corporate revenue. It allows us to insulate ourselves better from the kinds of choices and situations we face now. And I also think it offers a long-term benefit in that it allows agencies, programs, and even the legislature to step back from what some might describe as crisis mode thinking, where we're working very hard to find ways to keep the doors open and the lights on, and to shift to a mode of thinking where we can be more proactive and more creative, focusing on how best to design and operate programs and services for the long run. I think that's how we build better state and better government. This bill is by no means the end of the road on the conversation about fundamental tax reform that we need in this state, and I hope that I can continue to be involved in that conversation, but I think it is a significant step on that path. I've noticed as we're speeding toward the conclusion of this session, there's a little tension in the air sometimes. I almost feel like we didn't necessarily fully appreciate the message that Charlie Wallace brought to us this morning, and that's understandable because we've all got a lot on our minds, we've got a lot to do, but I'm hopeful that this bill gives us a chance to come together, that it might be something when we go back to our districts and are talking with our friends and neighbors and families about the things that we did, that this might be a little piece that we can all feel proud of, that years from now, maybe even generations from now, we can point to as something we did to contribute to the quality of life and the opportunities for future Oregonians. Appreciate your attention and urge your aye vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further discussion, Representative Cameron.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To the bill.